Good day, everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use Tableau if you are a beginner in Tableau. So Tableau is a data visualization tool that is used to connect to data, manipulate data, and visualize that data in a way that the consumers are able to read and understand the results. So Tableau, you can do the same if you're using Google Click, or if you're using Microsoft Power BI and many other visualization tools out there. In Tableau, you have two options. You can either connect to flat files, like Microsoft Excel files, to text files and PDF files, or to a server, which are databases. There are many databases out there. This is a free version, so you won't be able to see all the database out there, but you can connect to SQL Server, you can connect to AWS, and many other databases out there. In my case, I am going to connect to a Excel file. So I hit Excel, I'm on my downloads, and I am going to connect to a simple Superstore data. So basically, Tableau uploads this data into Tableau, then that data will be available for analysis. So it will take a little bit of time, but you can see it gives me the sheets in that file. There are three sheets: orders, returns, and users. If I drag these orders to canvas, it kind of separates the sheet from others and shows you that orders is there for analysis. And these are the columns in that sheet, Excel worksheet. I can drag another one and connect it to orders are connected to returns, and automatically Tableau identified the common columns in both fields. For example, in this it found order ID, and in the returns it found order ID. So I'm connecting the two worksheets on order ID. But I don't want to use returns, so I will just take it out. I will just remove it. So when I click sheet one, it gives me those columns in Tableau. Then I want you to see that there's this dividing line right here. It's kind of faded, but you can see that if I scroll just row on top, the difference in color, this is a blue and a green color. So anything in Tableau that is blue is basically discrete, and these are called dimensions. So dimensions are data characteristics that we use to splice or split our data into. So, for example, we have categories. The categories are qualitative. We have furniture, of supplies, and technology. We can splice or split our data, like we can split cells by these categories. So it will tell you how much is for furniture, how much is for supplies and technology. So dimensions, we use them to break down the measures, and measures are quantitative, they're always numbers, but you can always switch around these two. Like I can drag profit up to here, then that profit will be discrete, but I don't want to do that, so I'll just go back. All right, so now these are your dimensions, these are your measures. There is called discrete dimensions, and there are multiple ways to manipulate this data, but for in our example, we just leave it there. I also wanted to show you that there are these symbols behind every dimension. So for city, you have this globe icon, and that globe icon is just showing you that this is a geographical field. Um, this ABC, it shows you that it's a string, and this kind of a calendar, it shows that it's a date, and this is just a number. This hash, kind of a hash, is kind of it's just a number. It shows you that's a number. So now I want you to see that if I hit my profit, double click profit, it just gives me a bar graph. And if I splice it by order date, it gives me a line chart. And you can now manipulate your data. If you hit show me, you can choose the chart that you want to see. And you want to see this way, you can toggle change the axis, profit, and the time. You can switch it around. It's all up to you. Then if I go on the label and just hit label, it gives me the label on the bar charts. And if I go right here and say default properties number format, then I hit make it a currency standard, or maybe currency custom, then I remove the decimal places. It adds the dollar sign on the numbers. And I can also change the color that I'm using. I might want to use a color like this one. I can change the opacity of the color and manipulate this bar chart the way I want it. So those are the options that you might want to explore, but basically it doesn't really change the data that is provided. It just changes the look and the feel of the data. So let me put this blue boundary on this on the bar charts, and you can rename this as profit per year. Let me also just do product category, subcategory, and profit. Then when I come here, I can choose how to visualize it. I can do budgets, I can do text, I can do all these multiple ways to display it. I can also come here and split it by the years, and it will show you, it kind of gives you a range, like which one is the highest. The darker is the highest. This kind of orange one is the least profit available. So it gives you kind of a range if you really want to look at it this way. Let me see if I can split it further by product container. Shape mode, you can split it the way you want it. But anyway, you can see the logic behind it. So this is profit by category. All right. So now let's say you want to add some filters. You want to filter by product category. Just come here, show filter, product subcategory, show filter. Maybe you want to filter by region. Maybe you want to filter by state. Then when you're building a dashboard, you can see that there's this kind of a square with 4 squares in it. That's how you build your dashboard. You can change your dimensions to any size that you want. If you want a greater width, if you want a big, yeah, I'll just put it on 1250, then 860. This is fine. Now, you can add your titles, you can add your everything, but you can simply add your views like this. Then I'm now just changing my filters here so that this dashboard can be they can be easily viewed and used. And you can see, because we're using profit here, it gives me like a legend, shows you that this is the lowest profit, and the darker you go, that's the highest profit you can find. I can float this one up and put it right here close to this one, and fit this one to entire view, then put my float right here if I really want to show it. But basically, is kind of self-explanatory. Then I can come here, manipulate my data a little bit. You can change the size of your budgets. So you can see the budgets. You can remove the axis. Then you can highlight, you can format the title, put some shading in it. And you can do the same for this one. Make it uniform. You can also add a boundary if you want them to stick out nicely, and you can do something like float the filters, or you can add a show and hide button. So if I say hide, that those filters will go away. It will give you a more cleaner look. You can clean a little bit so that it doesn't overwhelm your users, or you can remove this one. So now, if I want you to see one thing, that if I show and do state, it only affect one chart because I applied the filter to that chart, to that worksheet only. But if I want this filter to apply to this top chart, I have to come here on the drop down and say apply to all using this data source. All using this data source. So now when I change the state filter, it affects all both charts. So now I put it on all, and you can manipulate this one if you really want to. You can change the outlook, the border, you can put the border on it. You can do the background. Make sure I select it. You can put a background to it. Then you can change the sizing, and now you can manipulate the way you want, east, north, whatever. You can also change these filters. So filters is one of the ways that enhances the uh, user consumption of the dashboard, but you can do things like sets, like parameters. You can do sheet swapping. You can do a lot of things in Tableau that you can use to enhance how your users are going to use the dashboard. So this is a basic dashboard, and I didn't edit much, but just to show you how to do how to use Tableau in a basic way. Thank you, and bye bye.